economic competition, economic competition. What is that? The Bible encourages competition in one's enterprises. Passages such as Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4 and 5, Proverbs 14, verse 23, Proverbs chapter 5, verse 10, 15 through 17, chapter 8, verses 18 to 20, chapter 12, verse 24, chapter 13, verse 7 and 8, the many verses, they all talk about how a person ought to be competing. Competing means, trying to do your best. Trying to do your best. It's just like a student is trying to study the best. Children to study best. Because that's their business. Farmers to do, but they're supposed to farm the best. There should be a competition, it's a healthy competition. You are not doing anything to damage your neighbor's farming. You are making sure that I will produce more rice in my field than he will produce. And if he is also compete, then both are benefited, right? Both can take more rice home. Government will be benefited because more tax will be given to government. Poor will be benefited because the harvesters will get more for their labor. So Bible encourages that sort of a competition. Proverbs 31 pictures the ideal private enterprise. How hard and honest work bring prosperity and affluence is beautifully explained in this chapter through the virtuous woman. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 7 through 10 explains the philosophy of private property from a godly point of view. Will somebody read that passage? Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verses 7 through 10. Also someone else will read Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verses 1 through 6.
Go eat your bread with joy and drink your wine with a merry heart. God has already approved what you do.
God has already approved what you do. Means, the honest work of a man is approved by God. Continue.
Let your garments be always white. Let
Yes.
not oil be lacking on your head. Enjoy life with the wife whom you love, all the days of your vain life that he has given you under the sun, because that is your portion in life and in your toil at which you toil under the sun.
Then look this next statement.
Whatever your hands
Whatever your hands finds to do,
do it with your might.
do it with your might. That's
For
whatever your hand. Is it farming? Do it with your might. Is it business? Do it with your might. Is it studies? Do it with your might. Is it factory work? Do it with your might. Office work? Do it. A Christian should always do his job the best. There should not be another person who will do it better. That's the way. This job nobody can do better than I do. Yes. And even the preacher, he should preach the best sermon. Nobody should be able to preach a better sermon on that passage than he preached. The singers must sing very well. Just don't sing a song, practice very well. Sing it the best for the glory of God. Whatever you are doing, you make a curry, let that be the best curry. Nobody in the world could make a better curry than that curry. Yeah. Tangam Philip should be defeated. Or Mrs. K. Matthew should be defeated. Or Sir As curry should go away from, when your curry comes in. You should be. Whatever you do. If you are an artist, paint the best way you can do. Your signature must bring in a lot of value. So that's a biblical principle. Such a man only can enjoy, go home, eat, drink, plenty of oil on your hair. You people don't know what that means. You put oil on your head? Yeah, you should. If you don't, you are not obeying the word of God. Well, that's what the Bible says. There should be some meaning, purpose in it, right? Yeah. Anointing your oil, it's repeated many times in the Bible. He anoints my head with oil. Yes, anoint my head with oil. It's not, oil is good. Wine that cherishes your heart and oil that makes your head cool and nice, Your hair will gray very slowly if you use oil, that's truth. Unless there is a genetic problem or something. But in general, the people who apply oil, they won't go bald unless it's again a genetic problem or something. It's bound, you have to go, whatever you do. But otherwise, yes, it is. So, and then enjoy with your wife. Enjoying with your wife is also part of this one. Whatever you do, you did well. Only such a person has the right to enjoy. Let your clothes be clean, white. Only a hard-working, honest laborer or office, whatever you do, doctor, engineer, whoever it may be, only a hard-working, honest person can wear good clothes. That's the idea. Nowadays, the people who doesn't do any work, they wear good clothes and walk around. And I say, what right do you have to have it? That's when people have to say, take off your clothes. You have no right to wear it because you are not working. A hard-working man, he comes, takes bath nicely, put on nice clothes. He and his wife, children, they go out for a walk, come home, eat the best food. They enjoy life. Life is to enjoy, that's the theme of the book of Ecclesiastes. God wants you to enjoy full. That's the theme. The negative part, the two lines of thinking there. One is, there are some people who think that money, gold, silver, women and all these things is the end of life. So they try to get those things away without God. So no, you enjoy all these things with God. God gives these things to you. That was the problem with the prodigal son. He thought the life consists in having merrymaking and enjoyment without the restrictions of the home. So he had it plenty, but then he found that it's meaningless. He returned home, what did he find? There is plenty of meat and food and dancing and drum and beating and dancing, everything, in the atmosphere of the home, with all the restrictions there. The father is still there, mother is still there, all the home restrictions are there. But the problem in many homes is the home does not provide these things. So children will go elsewhere. Parents must teach their, hey, all these things are available here. In the context of, peaceful atmosphere, godly atmosphere. So the book of Ecclesiastes is talking about it. Repeatedly says so many times, enjoy man, enjoy. Don't forget there is a day of judgment. So your enjoyment should be in such a way that when you stand for the judgment, you will be proud about it. You will have clear conscience. God won't say, you have enjoyed wrongly. No, Lord, I enjoyed fully, but rightly. That was the theme, and that's the lifestyle of Job, You read Job chapter 29 and 30 and all. The idea is that the servants in Job's home, they were eating and plenty. The prodigal son also said that. The servants at our home, they eat plenty and then, So the prosperity there, the lavishness there. The woman in the Proverbs 31, everything is excellent. She is a woman of taste. Her draperies are the best, their bedclothes are the best, sheets are the best. Their clothes are the best, everything the best, the food is the best, everything is the best. Why should Christians settle down for poor? Everybody is not a Christian, full-time worker who is called to suffer. You are all people who work hard. You earn enough, you live, you give enough, you are blessed in every side. God doesn't want people to be miserable. Some people have the idea that Christian life is all miserable. Don't eat anything, don't put on any good clothes. It's miserable, miserable, miserable. It's like the lepers who say that unholy, 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 unclean, 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 miserable, miserable, poverty and poor and poor and poor. That's not Christian life. That's not what I get, the picture. That's men like Paul and other men who are for the sake of, and the gospel they have forsaken. But the Lord said that you will get 100-fold. For my sake and for the gospel's sake, you leave it, you will get 100-fold. Doesn't mean that, 100-fold in the same count, but, they will get more. You leave one mother, you get your comfort from 100 mothers. Not that you're going to have 100, literal mothers. There will be 100 women to give you that motherly Yes. You leave your children, in your old age you will have hundreds of children to take care of you. Bhagwan Singh was taken care of like a little child in the hands of so many people. Actually, there was an MD doctor, an MBBS doctor who signed, they were sleeping in his own room full time to take care of that man. What father will have that benefit? So people, when they live for the Lord will reward it. That's what the Lord has promised. But there is suffering. But the book of Ecclesiastes is telling that in the atmosphere of fear of the Lord, and you do things that are rightly, work hard, save hard, eat right, enjoy family life right, serve God right, always keep the final judgment in before you. If you live a life like that, God will only bless you. Only bless you. That's a beautiful book. So this is all come down to this whole matter of economic competition. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 1 through 6. It also explains the true philosophy of private ownership and enterprising.
Cast your bread upon waters, for you will find it after many days. Give a serving to 7 and also to 8, for you do not know what evil will be on the earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth, and if a tree falls to the south or the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it shall be, there it shall lie. He who observes the wind shall not sow, and he who regards the cloud will not reap. As you do not know what is the way of the wind, or how the thorns grow in the womb of her who is with a child, so you do not know the works of God who makes everything. In the morning you sow your seed, and the evening do not withhold your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or whether both alike will be good.
What is he saying? That share, throw your waters upon people, give them to the people, you will get it back. Then don't look at the hindrances and problems of weather or climate, this and that, but do your duty. Do your duty. Morning, evening. Be a duty-bound person. Don't look at the hindrances and the difficulties. The lazy man will say that, it's going to rain today, maybe tomorrow. A good farmer will be plowing and flowing everything, the wind may be there, it may be hot sun, it may be winter time, it may be, but his duties will be, and God will prosper. That's what it says, God will prosper. Just like you don't know how a child is, the mystery, the same way your labor is how it's going to, you don't need to worry about it. The Lord is going to take care of it. So the private enterprises and the competition, the doing your duty right and all, the Bible encourages it. Bible cannot stand, this idea of socialism, that everybody share everything, and that communism, that state owns everything and you are a slave. No, Bible does not, encourage those things. Economic competition tends to stifle man's sinful tendencies. The reason is this: an individual in business must be on his or her best behavior, or customers will go to the next door, to his competitor. The entrepreneur must also look out for customers' best interest, or they will go elsewhere for their own interest. That's true. That's why I said the customer is the king. You go to a shop, where you will go to a shop? Where you get the best treatment, the best product, the best price and everything, right? So a good businessman will always be doing that. I remember living in Trichur, city. There was one A.D. Kuriappan stores, a gentleman. Of course, those days we returned from America, our children didn't know Malayalam. All this man, the manager, the owner of the shop, speaks beautiful English. But he was very friendly, just walked in and he stood and said, first time he said, where are you coming? And they asked the children, gave to all the children candy bars and everything. Then I have seen him taking his wallet and taking out the money and putting in for every candy bar he has taken from his shop, he has put money in it. So I said, it's yours. I said, no, that's not business principle. The business principle is, I am giving it from my money, and if a sales tax inspector come and count the candy bar 5 are gone, right? He counts the money must be there. Otherwise that's not honest work. So anyway, what said that the best businessman in the town. You buy anything? Yes, pressure cooker, you took it home. After a week said that Lucas, his name is Lucas Yeta, pressure cooker. ഞാൻ പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചതുപോലെ നല്ല ക്വാളിറ്റി അല്ലടാ പ്രഷർ കുക്കർ സാർ എടുത്ത് വെച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുത്തേ സാർ. That's it. Never ask anything. For that reason, once you go to that shop, you will always go to that shop. Last time I went there, the shop was gone. It's a Bata shoe shop. I asked people what happened. He said, Lucas Hutton died. All his children are in America. There is nobody to carry on the business. So children came and sold it. I was very sad. Why? Because I lost a good, shop where I can buy. That principle is everywhere. Everywhere. Even if you are a doctor, you are a farmer, you are a barber, you don't go to every barber shop. You go to a barber shop where, you will get the best haircut to your satisfaction. That's where you will go. That's it. So competition. If I am not satisfied with that barber, next time I will not come. I will go there, look at it and go to the next barber there, sit down. See, he lost a customer. If he lose 100 customers like that, he has to close down. So Bible teaches this whole matter of economic competition. It stifles man's sinful tendencies. You will be more honest. Your products will be more, honest products. And your prices will be more reasonable and all. Our problem is that we go places where we get the cheapest price, but you also get the cheapest material. So you buy it and you say, good price. When you use it, you say, oh, this is terrible, it's terrible. But you cannot do that. That's not honest. You are going for cheap price than cheap products. You should go for good products for good price. It's a reasonable price. That's what it is. You should not be shopping at places where the cheapest commodities are sold. That's not good business principle. Competition encourages cooperation in a capitalistic society because people act in accordance with the principle of comparative advantage. That's what they do. Any product you buy, any product, whether it is a bike you are buying or a fridge you are buying or a cloth you are buying, you always go for comparative advantage. If I buy from this shop as opposed to that shop, what benefit do I have? The shopkeeper also say that. If I lose this customer, he walks and buy from that shop. So all these principles are very, very important. So competition encourages cooperation in a capitalist society. The principle of comparative advantage states that every member of a free market society can produce a valuable good or service by specializing in an area in which he or she is at the least disadvantage. Sorry. Hello. Anand, I am taking a class. Could you call me after 10 o'clock? Maybe preferably 10:30 or 11 o'clock even. But I am in the midst of a class. Okay. So the principle of comparative advantage states that every member of a free market society can produce a valuable good or service by specializing in an area in which he or she is at the least disadvantage, thus producing something of value to others. Yes. There are people who can make the best vada pav. Well, if nobody can make a better vada pav than that one, then where will people come? For a reasonable price, healthy, tasty and reasonable price. So that's a comparative advantage. You may get a cheaper one there. Also with that one you have to buy some Jalusil or something. It's a problem. So you always go to a shop where you get, this comparative advantage. And you must be producing products also. Whatever service. Say somebody come to you for counseling on some small issue. You should be giving him the best counseling, right? But if he finds out that the other person can give a better counseling, you know the story when what was his name? The son of David. What was his name? Absalom. Absalom had certain counselors, and then David had sent his own counselor there to defeat. What was his name? The name I have forgotten. Yeah, he has gone and hang himself, because the other counselor's advice was received. See, this problem is there. So we want to make sure that our counseling is the best counseling. Our advice is the best advice. Somebody come to you, pray for, sick person, your prayer must produce the best result. If you are an honest person and you are in good relationship with God, why don't your prayer will produce results? Yes. God is in the business of answering good prayers. Good prayers are decided by who pray, and how he pray, and why he pray, what motive he has, and all those things. So anything we do, this comparative advantage principle is a part of the free society, the free marketing. Individuals find that they can be more successful in a free market by focusing their energies on production that is beneficial to society as a whole. This enables more goods available to all, especially the poor of the society. When commodity is scarce, the poor can never get it. Only in a plentiful economy the poor could be beneficial. This is why anywhere there is restrictions of trade or movement, the poor always suffer. When there is plenty in the market, the poor can buy it because there is plenty. Otherwise the poor has to compete with the rich. The rich will always outsmart the poor. So whenever there is restriction, the poor suffers. The rich will always survive. But in a free society, that question does not arise. There is plenty, there everybody is producing, there is plenty. Competition promotes self-worth and fits in Christian worldview much better. When an individual realizes that he is as good as anyone else and that he has God-given capacities and God-established principles of business and stewardship, he could function a lot better than someone else who is told that he has no such freedom. This is absolutely, fantastic, because the self-respect, I can do this business very well. My principles are correct. My products are good. Healthy competition there. A good businessman always will welcome other competitors. Say, come on in. My product is the best. If you outsmart me, if you give better products at lesser price, then only I have to worry. Then only I have to worry. But as long as I am giving the best product at reasonable price, you cannot compete with me, I know it. So you will change your product. You won't be selling what I am selling. On the other hand, those who believe in socialism are always at the mercy of the social interest and has to bear the shock of the social scarcity. The social scarcity, products are not available. Kerosene in Kerala, it's very difficult. Kerosene is 60 rupees a litre now, you think of. Diesel is cheaper to buy it. But people who need kerosene, because you cannot use diesel in their stove, you cannot use diesel in their generator in many places. So kerosene is not available. Government has taken it away from the open market, only in the ration shop. In the ration shop you get only 1 litre a month. You cannot operate on it, so you have to go for black. But suppose government give permission to dealers, you can bring kerosene from anywhere, from Iran or from Saudi or from any country, you sell it. Anybody can have diesel, petrol, kerosene, plenty available. You can go without fearing anybody, you can walk with your cannas, you can buy as much as you want, and poor or rich, they can all. Every shop is selling it. So free enterprise is always much better. But the principle of social justice, the idea of economic equality may sound ideal superficially. This means that everyone bear the shock of scarce resources. Say salt is in short and everyone will get only 2 grams of salt per day. So it seems that nobody is better than anybody else. Let us all suffer together. But the truth is what? The rich will go somewhere and get the salt. Who will suffer? The poor. So government making a rule that everybody will get only 2 grams of salt, it is really an injustice done to the poor. The rich will go anywhere, Pakistan or Sri Lanka or America or anywhere, Bangladesh, somewhere, they will bring in salt. They got the money, they got the resources. The poor will not. But private property concept allows individuals to whatever ethically and fiscally possible to bring salt and trade salt so that the whole society will be benefited. Government says anybody who wants to sell salt, they can buy and sell salt. So tomorrow in the market salt is available for a very cheap price and everywhere, poor or rich, anybody can get salt. So social controls, actually it makes the poor to suffer. The public is always benefited by private enterprises. The incentive to work to provide the salt is taken away from the individual in socialism. The government is responsible to import salt from wherever it could, and the individual will idly wait blaming the government for its delay. And when the salt comes, there are 1,000 rules and regulations to get a portion of it. The low income group will come first. They will get 1 kilo of salt. Then the middle income group will come. They will get half a kilo of salt. The high income group will not get salt from here. That is government's rule. That's what socialism is. Government brings in controls. But in private enterprises, none of the rules applies. There are 100 dealers selling salt. You want 1 bag full? Take it. You want a truckload? Just give me the order. Tomorrow morning it will be here. There is no scarcity of product. Isn't that nice? Yes. Apostle Paul, while he was in Thessalonica, taught clearly this private enterprises. 2 Thessalonians 3:10, Paul says, in fact, when we were with you, this is what we commanded you. If anyone is not willing to work, he should not eat. What a person will eat, how much a person will eat, all depended upon how much he produces. That's what he says. God has given us 2 hands to work, but nobody eats with 2 hands, only with 1. So the principle is you always produce double of what you consume. Always, that's supposed to be. Everybody is supposed to produce double of what you need, so that 1/2 could be used for the people who cannot work for different reasons. No, but sinful man will work with 2 hands and he will eat with 2 hands. No, you cannot eat with 2 hands, and I have never seen anybody. Yes. Leviticus 19:15 requires showing no partiality. Read that passage, very interesting passage. It gives a stab to socialism. Leviticus 19:15.
You shall do no injustice in court. You shall not be partial to the poor or defer to the great, but in righteousness shall you judge your neighbor.
You shall not show any partiality to poor. You cannot favor the poor because he is poor. You cannot favor the rich because he is rich. When it comes to justice, you are blind, totally blind. You always see that picture of a blind, woman tied down and holding the scale. Exactly there, that justice. In socialism, they always favor whom? The poor. That's partiality. In capitalism, People think they favor the rich. No. In capitalism, product is available to everybody. You start a shop, plenty of goods coming. You will sell it to anybody who comes. They won't sell it for cheaper price to the poor. They won't sell it for higher price to the richer. The price is already written there, 100 rupees. Is 100 rupees for rich or poor? But the other place it's all subsidized. Now the LPG.